I have something to confess to you all tonight. I cannot talk to people. I know this is a devastating revelation for some of you. Clap if you're surprised. So in college recently, I switched my major into a more creative field, right? What? What are you looking at? Is there something? And if any of you have never taken an art class before, usually there's a group critique during it where you have to present and describe your work to the professor and other students. All of the classes that I've taken and I'm currently taking, I have to do this. Now, the critique itself isn't the issue. It's the fact that almost every time I feel like I want to throw up when it's my turn. Just because I know I have to speak. I can't be silent. I have to be perceived. And I've always had this issue. Even on a smaller scale, when I know my name is about to get called for attendance, I get heart palpitations. Heart palpitations, as in my heart is pounding for saying here during attendance. It's so pathetic, man. Like, I hate when stuff that's happening mentally affects you physically. Why am I sweating profusely? Why is my heart racing? Why is my stomach churning? You're a mental problem. Stay in my mind and leave my stomach alone. I remember when we used to have to read in class, I would count each student ahead of me to see which passage I would get and then rehearse the passage in my head only to still mess up. And of course, this extends to outside of school. I could not interact with cashiers, service workers, just people that you might have to talk to when you go out and do something, ordering food, buying something. If there was no self-checkout, I was cooked. My anxiousness was significantly worse at that time though. I get a few physical symptoms now, but back then, my voice would literally just not come out. And if it did, it would be so gravelly and strained and it just wouldn't come out properly. I used to constantly be clearing my throat if I knew I had to speak. I know it doesn't sound like a big deal, but it was a little embarrassing because people would look at you like something's wrong with you. And it wasn't just like a little voice crack or something. Like it was like full on, like I sounded like I smoked a pack a day at 9 years old. It concerned everyone around me so much at a time to the point where I went to the doctor because they believed something was wrong with my throat. Like I had to have some type of physical issue because nobody believed that I might have just been that nervous. In the end, they couldn't find anything, unsurprisingly, so it was chalked up to something that I'd grow out of. And while my voice has an easier time coming out now, I am still just as anxious. I can just mask it a little bit better. Yet I still feel like when I talk to people on a mental level, I'm not human. Like I'm some other thing, like a creature.
Hey guys, what's everybody up to? Guys?
It sounds kind of cringe. Nobody understands me. They don't understand I'm not like them. But like this is the only way I can explain it. And when I say I'm socially anxious, I usually mean with strangers, people I don't know very well, or honestly even sometimes people who are close to me. It's only a very select few people where it doesn't affect me as much. It's just ingrained into me, but obviously I feel the most in public. Let's say we're in a group setting and everyone is talking, but then sometimes I feel like when I speak up, everyone goes silent or I just get ignored completely. I've had this happen with people that I know and also just randomly. When you're in class and having a group discussion or I'm presenting and when everyone else is presenting, you know people are engaged with them, but when it's my turn, the professor has to beg people to say something. I'm not doing or saying anything crazy either. I'm not that one person saying the most egregious shit during a discussion to play devil's advocate. I know I'm not the best presenter, but damn, is it excruciating to watch and excruciating to go through. Maybe it's because I don't talk a lot in public, so when I do, people are like, who the hell is this? I feel even more exposed to because I know people can hear it. I know you can hear how nervous I am in my voice, or by the fact that I can't look anyone in the eye and I'm staring intently at a window, imagining life away from here, away from this situation, how life would be if I was a bird. And that's when I'm forced to communicate. When I'm not, on the very rare chance where I feel like I want to jump into a conversation and meet new people, can't do that either. I don't know how to do it. How can I jump in seamlessly? It's frustrating, especially if they're talking about something I have knowledge on. I want to contribute to these Socratic philosophical debates. I know ball. I'm a ball knower. And unfortunately, this anxiousness extends to online. I can't play multiplayer games with voice chat. Text chats are fine, sometimes. I'll reply and then run away. For in-person interactions, I can understand why I'm like this, but I do not understand why I'm nervous for online ones. I'm talking to a screen with people who are most likely extremely far away, low risk and possibly high reward, yet I just can't get over it. This is interesting and a bit different though, because back in the day, I didn't have this issue at all online. I could talk to anyone. I had plenty of online friends. It wasn't too much voice chat though, it was a lot of text, so I guess younger me liked being able to interact with people without without worrying about the aforementioned choppy, stuttering mess of a voice that I had. I think I did trade in a little bit of the confidence that I had online back then for being more aware in person now. However, looking back, I think this also just came with being incredibly naive on how deranged some people are behind their screens, like just thinking it's a different world. I feel like my reaction time for conversations isn't good either. For anything else, I'm quick with it, but as one thing I just can't quite grasp yet, say I'm walking and somebody gives me a compliment, it doesn't register until it's too late for me and they've already walked off, I failed the QuickTime event, and just missed out on a potential cutscene. I often get those moments where things like that will happen, or I'm at some type of outing where I'm talking to a lot of people, and I come home and I just think, damn, that was not my best work, not my finest performance today. Time to go into the shower and play back everything I could have said differently. Now, while a lot of this is just me being too deep in my head, we cannot forget the current landscape for social interactions that we are in when we zoom out a little bit. Any person could just record someone, post it, and then suddenly you have 50k other people who get to watch and chime in on that whole interaction. It is a genuine fear now that you may just be recorded and analyzed and ridiculed if you don't pick the absolute best dialogue option. Because it's easy for us to say from afar, oh, I would have done this, this, and that, but in person, nobody is performing at 100% all the time, 24/7. Let's use that example from earlier. When someone compliments me, it takes me a second to respond, so I don't say anything or react, but then they cut the clip before it shows my response. Now I'm ungrateful, and everyone's calling me chopped in the comment section. And I'm not talking about people who rightfully deserve to get put on blast, like if they were weird or creepy or to warn people, that's fine. But for the rest of us, I just feel like it adds another layer to something that can already be so complicated. I do realize, like with many things, that being able to effortlessly interact and talk with people is a skill. And if you don't practice a skill, you don't get better. It took me a solid 10 years to have surface level conversational skills. So maybe when I'm 50, I'll be able to do it properly. So obviously, if I'm so anxious both in person and online, why am I making videos for potentially hundreds and thousands of people to see? Not yet, thankfully. One of the reasons for making this channel is to kind of force myself to interact with people and present things, even if it's through a screen. And I do feel like it's helped a little bit. When I listen to my older videos, I can kind of hear that I was more shaky. I'm sure recording in a closet didn't help with that audio quality either, but you know what I mean. And I do encourage anyone else who has this issue to do something similar. You really just have to force yourself sometimes to break out of it. I'm not telling you to go up to strangers and start interviewing them. What's your body count? What do you give yourself out of 10? Not that, but do something that applies to you. I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to completely stop being socially anxious. I would hope at least it would kind of lessen a little bit and not be to this extent for the rest of my life. It's a long road, but even if I don't get to talk to that many people in my day-to-day life, just having the knowledge that I can hold a conversation and interact with people without being a mess is something that wouldn't be too bad.